Hello everyone, Jewel here. It's been a while since I made a PS5 games list and I realized I haven't made that many lists about it, especially RPG. So I decided to get down into it. Please note, for this list I'm going to feature the game that officially released in PS5, not PS4 backwards compatibility. So I hope you don't get confused why some games are not in this list. Alright then, let's get started. Soul Hackers 2 is a smart and classically dark game from the Shin Megami Tensei tradition. It has catchy music, great characters, an amazing protagonist, and a fun core loop. It's not going to turn heads like Persona 5 and SMT5 did, but I would say it has its own uniqueness into it. There are plenty of side quests to tackle too that will add to your playtime, and they provide good world building. Soul Hackers 2 at its core is enjoyable if you like rattling through dungeons, playing with demons, and building a kick-ass party. Immortals Fenyx Rising is a genuine joy to play, and a real treat for Greek mythology lovers. The gameplay of Immortals Fenyx Rising is divided into 3 core states. Most of your playtime will be centered around these 3 fundamental elements: exploration, combat, and puzzles. The game skillfully makes it so that these 3 states are intertwined and in turn enhance each other's impact by coexisting in an almost harmonic state. The combination of an interesting storyline, addictive gameplay formula, fresh as well as voice acts and soundtracks that have been delivered so well make this game highly recommended for gamers who love open world games.
Let's do it together!
Scarlet Nexus comes with the theme of modern civilization where humans live in a futuristic city. However, the world is disrupted by the presence of the Other, which is a metamorphosis monster that can attack and eat humans' brains to live. The game combat is built on a standard hack-and-slash combat system with RPG flavor, but its uniqueness lies in the special abilities your character can perform. You can maintain a momentum and create a stream of long combos that continue to flow as long as your character isn't hit. There is no skill gap here, so as long as you can get access to all the skills and mechanics, this will be an action game that can be mastered quickly. Guardians of the Galaxy is fully focused on presenting single-player gameplay. No more co-op, multiplayer, or microtransaction missions that burden players. In terms of gameplay, you will play the character of Peter Quill or Star-Lord as the main character of this game with a third-person perspective camera style. When fighting enemies, of course you will get experience. The amount of experience you get varies depending on how strong you are against them. If you manage to meet the experience bar from defeating existing enemies, you will get skill points and get new skills. The combat is satisfying, characters are great, and the character interaction is extremely captivating, especially the humor aspects of it.
Okay, now what? Cross your fingers and pick a goal!
Okay, they're not even close to...
Lost Judgment feels like a worthy successor to the original. It makes notable improvements in gameplay and brings in some new elements. The beat-em-up gameplay offered by Lost Judgment is still identical to the previous game. Even the similarities can be seen from the available skills, the sequence of combos, to the attack animations that are still maintained. However, while I feel the game has a great story, perhaps it doesn't live up to Judgment as a crime thriller. I think this game has a slower pacing and doesn't provide the same experience that can leave the same strong impression while enjoying the story. But still, if you love the original, this game is a must-have. Yakuza Like a Dragon presents a different gameplay formula than before, where this time Ryuga Gotoku Studio applies a turn-based RPG battle system instead of action like the previous series. Fights have an addictive rhythm to them, and this makes Like a Dragon just as engaging as the action of previous Yakuzas. Just like in Dragon Quest, the job system is also presented here. In this game, we will also find a variety of interesting minigames, such as trash collecting, dragon card, and many more. The game is rich with memes and fun, and as long as you can forgive some padding in the main story, I think you will have a lot of fun with this game. Tales of Arise is a JRPG game with a classic formula that is packaged in a modern way. Although using a similar formula, this game has a variety of very interesting game features, ranging from exploration, combat, side activities, and even a funny skit conversations. Gameplay builds on the hybrid action and real-time combat that has been the trademark of the series for decades. Once you level up and expand your skills and number of attacks, you will be able to pull off an impressive array of moves, with combos easily hitting triple digits. Tales of Arise rides the high of a brilliant battle system and amazing supporting cast. I would say it is easy to say that this is the best Tales games of all time. The gameplay in Cyberpunk 2077 is played from a first-person perspective, which provides a wider and immersive perspective when exploring Night City. Although this point of view works really well, I still expect that this game can be played from the third-person perspective, because at this point, the character customization system, including appearance modifications, feels like a wasted potential. As for the RPG aspect, you can put skills into various attributes and also select perks when you level up. This allows you to spec your character in a way that suits your playstyle. While the combat is not the most complex and mirrors many first-person action RPGs, you do have a considerable amount of flexibility and control. This makes the gameplay and your choices feels more rewarding and consequential.
Watch out!
Borderlands 3 is all about guns, and the moment-to-moment gameplay of exploring the world and looting crates feels better than it has in the previous games. Most of your weapons fire smoothly, and they are very responsive. For those of you who have played the previous 3 series, Borderlands 3 still has gameplay mechanics that you will easily master, even for those of you who have never touched the Borderlands series before. You can also work together to destroy the heads of bandits with your friends and other players in this game. I know that we have newer games like Tiny Tina's Wonderland, but I still think Borderlands 3 is better in terms of overall gameplay. Just like before, Dying Light 2 is presented in first-person view, and as usual, parkour is the main component that characterizes Dying Light compared to the other zombie games. Dying Light 2 makes this easier by allowing you to automatically hold on to an object if you look at it directly, which is pretty easy to do. However, fighting isn't the only way to explore Villedor. In certain situations, you may need to think of a way to get past a lot of zombies by taking advantage of stealth. There's also a skill tree that allows you to unlock combat-related abilities, and like its predecessor series, Dying Light 2 will give you bonus experience for all your activities that are done at night. Throwing away the classic turn-based gameplay, now Final Fantasy VII Remake feels more action-oriented with a hack-and-slash flavor. All battles are now more intense and more interesting. You will now launch action-packed attacks directly, but even so, the game still brings classic flavors by inserting a base command list. During the fight, you can do a super slow motion to determine what attacks or abilities you will do. In the middle of battle, you can also change the character in the party with just one tap. Just like the original series, the characters have their own abilities and special moves, but all of them are now shown more intense and slick. In addition to the main mission, there's a lot of side missions that you can complete in certain chapters, and it must be admitted that the side missions appear so interesting and more interactive than the original.
Oh hell! What's it doing now?
Horizon Forbidden West continues the story of Aloy, a young hunter of the Nora tribe, as she leads a band of companions on a quest to the arcane frontier known as the Forbidden West. It has an open world with plenty of things to do and places to explore, fights against some well-developed machines, and enjoying one of the most stunning visuals in the video game. The world is significantly more diverse than its predecessor, offering a condensed version of several US states. The well-directed story is as motivating as the complex systems for skills, weapons, and other equipment. The thrilling fights also provide a great mixture of action and tactics. Basically, if you love the first game, this game is a no-brainer. As in the past series, Assassin's Creed Valhalla's story centers on two characters who are connected to each other. In the modern era, Layla Hassan continues to look for solutions to the problem of the Earth's electromagnetic waves that have the potential to produce a new small apocalypse. By accusing the Animus, this time he will explore the life of a Viking warrior named Ivor, who is believed to have the key to the solution for him. If in the past we are used to play Assassin's Creed as a stealth action adventure, this time you are going to play more like an open world RPG. There are more complex character progression, more variety on builds, and just overall more content to play on the map. If you think Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a good approach for how Ubisoft should develop their RPG formula, then this game is basically a better version of Odyssey. Nioh and its sequel are worthy additions to the Souls-like genre. Both games are fun and incredibly challenging. Nioh is played in a set of missions, which are self-contained stages that are large and sprawling. Each has their own secrets to uncover, items to find, and enemies to kill. Combat is unforgiving and brutal, forcing you to approach every enemy cautiously, filling out weaknesses and drops in their guard. The abundance of different weapons, mountains of loot, and variety of onmyo and jutsu gives you a massive amount of build diversity, making each of the epic boss fights feel like personal triumphs to overcome. In Demon Souls, you play as a hero sent to the fallen kingdom of Boletaria, where dark magic has unleashed an evil being called the Old One that has placed the land in a deep fog. You can choose a variety of different classes, but these are only for show, as the real heart of the game are the various abilities you can upgrade with souls. The overall gameplay and mechanic is just the same as how it was before. If you play a lot of Souls titles, I bet you already knew how to play in this game. The most noticeable improvements is the graphics and performance. With realistic texture and running in smooth 60 FPS, this is definitely the best way to experience the game that has started the Souls-like genre. And here we go again. No matter what consoles you play in, there's always gonna be a port of Skyrim. Well, I can't blame them, since the game is extremely good in all of its open-world RPG aspects, and people are still enjoying the game till this day, so why not? But I hope Bethesda will release the Elder Scrolls 6 soon enough, because it starts getting old, okay? All in all, Skyrim is definitely an RPG that can hold your attention for hundreds of hours. There's always something new to discover and eventually master. Well, at least if you haven't played already. Similar to its vanilla version, gameplay is again the strong point in this director's cut. Combat remains centered around a counter and parry system based on what sort of attack an enemy uses. New mechanics in this expansion include an ability to charge up and mow down enemies via horseback, no matter how big the bow or nasty the weapon. Stealth doesn't seem overly changed, but it's worth pointing out that this is still an absolute blast of a way to play. I know putting Ghost of Tsushima into this list is a little bit controversial, since the game is emphasizing adventure more than RPG. But because there are some RPG elements in this game that sometimes even requires grinding to a certain degree, I decided to include this game into this list. If you have a PS5, this game is a must-have. Just like Persona 5, the gameplay loop of the original remains intact. You hunt for corrupted individuals, infiltrate dungeons based on their personalities, and battle through tons of enemies, all while going to school and developing relationships with various characters. Personas are basically the various attacks that players can make use of in the game. They function pretty similar to what you're used to in Pokemon games, as players can level them up and collect new ones throughout the game. With new additional stories, side activities, numerous persona to unlock, and memorable characters, this version is definitely the best way to enjoy Persona 5. The Witcher 3 takes place in a fictional fantasy world based on Slavic mythology. Players control Geralt of Rivia, a monster slayer for hire known as a Witcher that searches for his adopted daughter who is on the run from the otherworldly wild hunt. The Witcher 3 is an action RPG game that is almost perfect in all aspects, from graphics, gameplay, storyline, to characterizations. Those of you who have played the series before will realize that this is a more flexible and sleek game than its predecessor. The game looks fantastic, with a world that's packed with small details and a huge variety of content. I mean, surely people already knew this game. And if you haven't played yet, well, there's no better time to start. Elden Ring is an RPG that elevates the genre to its new potential. There is no quest log, no icon-studded minimap, and no on-screen overlays telling you what to do or even where to go. Every inch of progress in Elden Ring feels earned and is thus infinitely more rewarding for it. The battle itself is the same as the Dark Souls series with parry, dodge, and break defense mechanics. What makes it different, however, is how players will be able to use any skill to match their own playstyle without being tied to the chosen class. Equipped with a vast world filled with various things to discover and beautiful visuals due to its art direction, Elden Ring is an experience that will be hard to forget. Alright boys, I think that's it for today. I know that maybe there are still other PS5 RPG that I haven't mentioned yet. So how about sharing your best PS5 RPG games that probably deserve a spot in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss another grad list. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Peace!